Today, I want to talk about how to tell time to the nearest hour and nearest half hour. So, we're going to start off by talking about the two different types of clocks. We have digital, which you can see on iPhones, iPads, computers, and we also have analog. So, these you would see in school, also in some pocket watches, or even wristwatches. So, there are three important parts of an analog clock. The first is the face, which is the whole round part of the clock. The second one is called the hour hand. Now, the hour hand is the short arrow in a clock. Then the last part is the minute hand. The minute hand is the long arrow in a clock. So for the analog clock, we have two different hands on our clock. The first one is the hour hand. So again, that one's a short arrow here. And when you're talking about the hour, the short arrow is pointing to a number or even slightly after that number. What you are going to do when saying the hour is you are going to look at that number and say that number. So right now it would be 3 o'clock. The second part here is with the minute. And now with this, you will have to do some math. So the minute hand again is the longer arrow, and it's pointing to certain numbers or even the lines in between the numbers. Those are all minutes. So when you are counting up minutes, if you go to each different number, it's 5 minutes. If you look in between, there are little lines, and those would be each individual minute. So if I start at 12 and count by fives, when I get back to 12, it would be 60 minutes in 1 hour. But we don't use the 60 to write our time. We would use 2 zeros. So each number on the clock represents 5 minutes, and you would need to count by fives to help you tell time. Today's focus is we are going to be focusing on just the hour. So we have the hour hand pointing to a number and the minute hand pointing to the 12. So right now this clock would be 5 o'clock. And we are also going to be talking about half past an hour. So here, if you look at the hour hand, it's a little bit after the 5, but it's not past 6 yet. So the hour is still 5 o'clock. But if I count up by fives, the minute hand is on the 6. So it would be 5:30. If I write 5, 6, it would not make sense. 5:30. All right, let's do a couple of examples. Here I have a clock. I'm going to just change it a little bit here. All right. So here, I know you can see on the digital in the upper right-hand corner, but let's look at the analog clock first. My hour hand is not in arrow form, but it is shorter than the minute hand, and it's a little past the 10, but not past 11 yet, so the hour is still 10. Now the minute hand is pointing to the 6, so I know it's 30 minutes, but let me count up just to practice. I count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. So it would be 10:30 in this clock. Let me do another example here. Okay, so my hour is pointing to the 2. So I would just say that number, it is 2. Now my answer would not be 2:12. That would not work. I'm counting by 5s. But since I start counting by 5s at 12, the answer would be 0. So this is 2 o'clock.